The Google August 2024 core update has officially started rolling out, and I wanted to make this video go over a few different things that Google has actually come out with. They've slightly tweaked, and I also want to give my opinion on certain things as well. So thinking about all of the previous core algorithm updates, one commonality that a lot of people end up kind of messing up on is the fact that they change things very, very quickly. Now, obviously, this isn't my first core algorithm update, and I have seen it time and time before where webmasters or website owners, they might drop a few positions, or they might drop maybe even 10 positions from position 1 to position 11, let's say, and they start making some drastic changes. What I recommend for everybody is to just wait until the actual core algorithm update has actually finished rolling out. Again, if it's not like the previous core algorithm updates, this can take a certain period of time. You can obviously make certain that you are looking at when it is actually finished. So, for example, the June spam update took 7 days. The March spam update took 14 days. The March core update took 45 days. Now, let's say, for example, if the August core update finishes on the 25th, so 10 days from now, as of recording, this is the 15th. What I would typically do is wait until like maybe the 30th and just wait until everything's kind of settled down and then start making any changes. That's only if your website has went down in rankings. Now, let's actually take a look at the update. So several times a year, Google obviously makes significant broad changes to their search algorithms and systems. We refer to these as core updates. As we notice when they happen on our list of search ranking updates, that was the page that I've just shown you guys. In general, most sites don't need to worry about core updates and may not even realize one has happened. However, if you have any questions about changes in traffic that correlates with a core update, this page is for you. It explains more about how core updates work. But let's actually take a look, because they've actually added a few additional things that Google doesn't always actually add to their actual release statement. So check if there's a traffic drop in Search Console. If you are seeing a drop in positions and suspect it might correlate with the timing of a core update, use Search Console to determine whether you need to make any changes. Now, one little bit of an added tip for this is try to pinpoint which pages have actually dropped in rankings. One thing you can actually do for this step is take a look or run your website through Screaming Frog, connect it through to the Google Search Console API, and you can obviously do like a comparison of the traffic that you have got like over like maybe a 7-day period from the traffic that you got over like, let's say, a 7-day period back in July, let's say. That's always a really good indication of seeing like which pages have actually dropped, and then you can actually pinpoint which pages have dropped and actually focus your time and effort on improving those pages. So then we have got step number 1, confirm that the core update has finished rolling out. So like what I mentioned before at the start of this video, don't make any drastic changes. Wait until the core algorithm update has fully rolled out, because in some cases, what I've seen in previous scenarios is website owners will make a change thinking it's the right thing, and Google kind of sometimes rolls back a certain update while they're fully rolling out the actual update. So think of like the next week or so as kind of like a testing period. You might drop, you might increase, you might drop again. So just don't take anything to heart just yet. Compare the right dates. We recommend waiting at least a full week after a core update completes before analyzing your site in Search Console. After a week, try comparing this week with a week before the core update started rolling out. This way you'll be able to better pinpoint what exactly has changed. If I'm being 100% honest with you guys, I actually hadn't read these 4 bullet points or these 4 numbered lists, but it's literally exactly what I said before. Review your top pages and queries, assess how they were ranking before and the core update, assess how they were ranking before and after the core update. Is the drop small or large? This is an interesting thing that they actually have added in. Small drop in position. From positions 2 to 4, there's no need to take a drastic action. In fact, we recommend avoiding making changes to content that's already performing well. Large drop in position, dropping from position 4 to 29, do a deeper assessment. So there might be some technical SEO issues. It might be how you've structured the content. It might be links related. It can be a variety of different reasons, or it could be one of the reasons that I've just mentioned, or it could be multiple reasons that I've just mentioned. It might even be technical SEO as well. Analyze different search types separately. This can help you understand whether the drop you've seen happened in web search, Google Images, or video mode, or the news tab as well. So one thing as well, the default Google Search Console that you actually show up on, that's actually you can pinpoint different searches, so you can actually look at all the traffic that you're getting from Google Images. You can look at the all the traffic you're getting from videos, or also news as well. And then another thing as well, just to bear that in mind, is if, say for example, you do a search, try to figure out if you have dropped from, let's say, position 4 to 29, let's say, because this has happened before. Try to figure out why certain websites have took your position. Is it that they have better content? Is the intent changed? I see that a lot after core algorithm updates, where websites, the intent changes and Google doesn't actually favor your content. It's not necessarily your entire website. It could just be that one page. You might need to potentially change the content from, let's say, a HTML table to a numbered list, or from a numbered list to a bullet pointed list. There is all of these things as well to take into consideration if you have seen a large drop. But again, like what I mentioned and like what the actual Google guidelines mentions as well, don't make any drastic changes just yet. Wait, I would probably say until like the 30th of this month, so the 30th of August, and then start to potentially look to actually make any changes. Also, just one caveat to that, that's if the actual core algorithm update finishes on the 25th. I'm taking a slight assumption. It could take 25 days, but that's just a little bit of a pointer for you guys. So assessing a large drop in positions, if you're seeing a sustained large drop in position for your site as a whole, read through the self-assessment to check if your site overall, not just individual pages, is delivering the content that's helpful, reliable, and people first. Specifically, we recommend keeping the following in mind. Take a closer look at your site as a whole and try to be objective. You might also ask others that are unaffiliated with your site to do an assessment using the questions. So they've actually got some questions here. So like, for example, does the content provide original information, so on and so forth. So you guys can take a look at that. They recommend basically showing your website to a friend or a family member, or maybe someone that you know quite well, and actually asking all of those questions. Evaluate the pages that were most impacted. Look closely at those to understand how these pages may perform against the self-assessment questionnaire. For example, there may be other pages on the web that are doing a better job of helping the searcher. So again, they're kind of referring to like how helpful is the actual page. One thing to bear in mind with this as well is if, say, for example, you have got a 6,000 word article on a certain subject and you notice that the websites that have potentially took over your position, they've only got 2,500. Try to figure out as to why yours is 6 and the ones that are 2,500. Why are those actually being preferred by Google? Because that's another commonality that I see, where it's not necessarily about the word count, but it's actually about how useful the content is. Are you able to condense that content down to get the actual answer, or spit out the answer, as I like to call it? So just a few things to bear in mind. Things to keep in mind when making changes: avoid doing quick fix changes like removing some page element before you heard it was bad for SEO. Instead, focus on making changes that make sense for the users and sustained in the long term. Consider how you can improve your content in meaningful ways. For example, it could be the rewriting and restructuring your content makes it easier for your audience to read and navigate the page. Deleting the content is a last resort. So obviously, I have said this before. If you're doing any form of like content pruning, try to figure out why that content isn't actually ranking. Do you need backlinks? Do you need internal links? Is the actual content itself optimized? Do you have enough unique links from other pages internally linking to that page? You should always be assessing all of these things. And if you then say, actually, do you know what? None of my visitors of my website is actually searching for this. It's not actually helping my website by any means. I've given it a fair chance for this content to rank. Then I would probably look to delete that content. So just bear that in mind when you are doing any content pruning. How long does it take to see an effect in search results? If you've made improvements, it may take time to see an effect in search results. Some changes take effect in a few days, but it could take several months for our systems to learn and confirm that the site as a whole is now producing helpful and reliable people-first content in the long term. If it's been a few months and you still haven't seen any effect, that could mean waiting until the next core update as well. So again, we already kind of knew that, but this has been a very short, brief video on the Google August 2024 core algorithm update. As of right now, I have just recorded this like maybe 1 hour after Google's actually announced it. The date is 15th of August. Wait until the actual core algorithm update has fully rolled out and then start making any changes if you have seen any drops. Like wait a week. So again, I'm going to assume it might take 10 days. It might take 15 days. If it takes 15 days, you might want to wait until the 10th of September, let's say. So something along those lines, and then start making some tweaks to your website. That's the biggest recommendation I can give to any of you guys. Don't get too don't get too disheartened if your website does go down in rankings, or also don't get too excited if your website does go up in rankings as well, because again, by the time the core algorithm update has finished, things can definitely change. But hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please remember to leave a like, and as always, if you guys do want a free growth strategy call for your website, make sure to check the link down below in the description. Thanks.